Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I know so many of you over on TikTok have been blowing up the comments asking for this, so today we're finally doing some customer reviews analysis for it. But before we dive into that, be sure to check out this exclusive discount available for it. You'll find it in the description and in the first comment under this video. Now let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details.
Starting things off, our first reviewer gives us their perspective.
This reviewer admits they hesitated for months before finally purchasing this mesh system, put off by the significant cost. Our reviewer tried everything to fix their spotty Wi-Fi, from repositioning their old router to buying a new conventional one, and even attempting a frustrating pairing with an older unit. The constant complaints from a spouse about dropped connections finally made it clear that a real investment was needed. After poring over numerous technical and comparative reviews, this client was convinced this networking gear was the best in its field, even choosing it over a newer, more expensive model for practical reasons related to signal distance and band performance. Upon setting it up, this user was incredibly relieved. The initial process using the mobile app was described as the smoothest home networking experience in 2 decades. Both units were paired within minutes, immediately broadcasting a very powerful signal across both the 4 GHz and 5 GHz bands. A major positive was the generous inclusion of multiple Ethernet ports on the satellite unit, a feature rarely found on competing systems that allows for wired connections in remote areas of the house. However, our reviewer emphasizes that to truly unlock this system's potential, you have to be willing to put in some work beyond the basic setup. They strongly recommend using the web interface to manually assign permanent IP addresses to all regularly used wireless devices, especially smart home gadgets and streaming hardware. They also found that giving the 4 GHz and 5 GHz bands different network names prevented connection headaches with devices that can only use the former. While there were minor drawbacks, like a slight lag with voice assistance, the client found these to be a tiny price to pay for the incredible stability and coverage that finally brought peace to their household network.
To get things started, let's hear from our first reviewer.
This reviewer describes their experience with this new mesh Wi-Fi system as a night and day improvement over their previous, more complex setup. While acknowledging that long-term performance is still to be determined, their initial impressions are overwhelmingly positive. They found some of the negative feedback they'd read online a bit baffling given how smooth their own process was. The setup itself was described as incredibly simple, with our reviewer getting the entire 2-unit network online in about 15 minutes right out of the box. Using the mobile app, the process was straightforward, and the secondary mesh node was recognized almost immediately once connected via an Ethernet cable for a wired backhaul. This client specifically noted that the wired connection worked perfectly for them, even when routed through a network switch, which was a point of concern raised in other reviews. In terms of performance, both speed and coverage have been exceptional. This client is consistently getting nearly the full speed of their internet plan on wired tests, and wireless speeds on modern devices are impressively fast. The signal is strong on all bands throughout their house and even extends outside. While there are a few minor quibbles, such as a slight learning curve with the user interface and some default settings they preferred to change, like separating the 4 GHz and 5 GHz networks, these were not significant issues. The occasional sporadic slowness on the 4 GHz band was noted but wasn't a major concern. Overall, the initial experience has been excellent, providing a stable, high-performance network with minimal fuss.
Awesome! Let's hear what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer wanted to share their experience after using this mesh Wi-Fi system for a while. You know how tech sites often give glowing reviews based on initial impressions. Our reviewer thinks it's important to really live with a product to see how it performs long-term. The biggest issue this client had was with 4 GHz devices. Smart home gadgets like power plugs, doorbell cameras, and security cameras kept disconnecting. After a lot of troubleshooting, they had to disable Wi-Fi 6 on the 4 GHz band and manually set a fixed channel. Even then, the doorbell and security cameras wouldn't stay connected. The reviewer ended up using older Wi-Fi extenders to create a separate network just for those devices, which finally solved the problem. It's frustrating that an expensive mesh system couldn't handle basic 4 GHz connectivity properly. Another annoyance is that the satellite node needed to be rebooted every week or 2 due to speed drops. Thankfully, the system has a built-in automatic reboot feature, which seems to keep everything running smoothly. The reviewer suspects a memory leak, but hasn't contacted support yet. On the positive side, the range is excellent. Our reviewer gets a strong signal throughout their multi-story home and full speed on the 5 GHz network. The system also looks nice and blends in with the decor. Plus, the mobile app is really good, offering a clear overview of the network and lots of configuration options. The reviewer also appreciates the web interface, which some other brands lack. Overall, this client is happy with the system now that everything is working, even though it took some effort to get there. They do wish the 4 GHz network was more reliable and that the system didn't need weekly reboots. Despite its quirks, our reviewer would probably buy this Wi-Fi setup again.
That's it for this one. If you found this helpful, tap that like button and subscribe for more. Got thoughts? Questions? Let's talk in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.